Yeah, my friends, you are tuned into Offering Something. I am your host, Michael Burney. It feeling so good to be alive. That is for sure. Yeah, Offering Something brought to you with support by our good sponsors, Enjoy Your Life brand, the Higher Education Music and Arts Festival, and Spicket River Brewery. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, make sure you do that, my friends. I love you for that. Oh, yeah, we have a super special episode today. That is the truth. Y'all, listen to this. Today's guest is an internationally recognized mixed media artist, an entrepreneur, a designer, a brand developer, an innovator, a peacemaker, a beautiful human being, a dear friend, and he is certainly offering something. It is my pleasure to introduce Markus Sebastiano. Yeah!
That was the best intro I think I've ever gotten.
How was that?
That was awesome.
Yeah, I
feel like I have big shoes to fill.
Yeah, man, you do that. You will do that. That's for sure. Yeah. So, man, it's super exciting to have you here. It is the first episode that we are releasing with a guest in the studio. You're the first guest, and I would not have it any other way.
I love that, man. I'm honored. That's great.
Yeah. All right, so there's so many things to talk about with you, and I enjoy conversation with you greatly. I promise you that I will not really stick to any topic. I will be all over the place, bouncing around. We want to get to know the individual that is Markus Sebastiano as much as that is Mark, as much as we want to get to know the artist and entrepreneur that is Markus Sebastiano.
Cool.
Yeah. So where were you born, my good friend?
I was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and I grew up in Methuen, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Tell me about Lawrence, Methuen, Massachusetts. What's the scene there?
Oh, man. Well, if you're not from around here, Lawrence is one of the oldest industrial cities in Massachusetts.
Yes, it is.
And then right next door to it is Methuen, which is, kind of like what is Methuen? Like a blue-collar kind of town?
Blue-collar, yeah. You have, what are the social classes there? I guess they'd be categorized as lower, middle, and upper middle. You kind of see that
you got a little
spectrum
upper.
there.
It's changing now, but yeah, I mean, it's mostly middle class,
Yeah.
And it was good. I had a good upbringing. My parents are still together. I had a nice little house in Methuen and lived next to my cousins. It was a good time.
So where you are, though, it's a diverse mix of people, right? In Methuen, you're next to Lawrence, and it's multi-nationalities and people of different heritages, different languages. Do you think growing up in that scene influenced you and your future as an artist? Would it have been different what you're creating today if you grew up in a super elite, wealthy community that everything was perfect?
Yeah, I'm sure my perspective all affected the way I create things and how I see the world. And
I feel good now.
I mean, it was. I feel good.
Yeah, I feel good now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, we were kind of friends with a lot of different people, a lot of people of different backgrounds, and having the studio and the gallery in Lawrence now for almost a decade. We're working with every type of person, which is great. It's a really diverse community. I mean, Lawrence has seen a lot of struggles over the years, and especially after the whole gas thing. And
how quickly people forget about that, but that was serious, very serious. Yeah.
But yeah, Lawrence, it's a great city, and one of my biggest issues with it is that people, always give it a bad rap, because of the bad things that have happened in the past, but like.
But you think there's a whole lot of good there in Lawtown, Massachusetts?
There's so much potential. There are so many great people. There's amazing artists. There's great food. Yeah. There's great places to go out to eat. I mean, it's and everyone is honestly friendly. Like when people come there to visit from out of town,
You
and
love Lawrence. You do.
we take a walk to, we go to Altair, or we, go to Terra Luna, and it's like, man, this is kind of happening. And everyone's so nice, and you're like, well, yeah, because in the news they just pretend like this is the worst place in the world, and they glorify.
That's the job of the media, though. So let's like right now, let's just cut into it. What do you do at this moment in your life? Like, what is your career? What is mixed media artist? Where are you at? What is it that you do so people understand who we're talking to here?
All right. So it's been an evolvement of what I started doing, but for 20 years I've been doing graphic design, branding. I've owned a few apparel companies, and I've always been making art and creating things from furniture to
logos.
And just I always had a product. Since I was 21,
Take the product, boy.
I had a product to sell, and I was on a creative pursuit. And over the last,
it was a legal product.
Yeah, a legal product.
Yeah.
But last 7 to 8 years is when I really started getting into this one style that I developed of physical art. It's a mixed media style where I use vintage materials. I build layers, resin, spray paint, print.
In mixed media art, like ultimately, we're talking about pieces that people
Physical
hang
art.
on the wall.
Yeah, physical art.
That have some layers. Okay, now carry on with your description. So we're looking at something on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different applications. But mostly, what I love doing is creating these pieces from scratch, layering them, and creating an original piece of artwork.
Let's get into like the process. What are some of the things you're throwing in there? Is like anything goes? How many layers? Is it like, okay, there's paint. People think about paint when they think about art. So you put some paint on and you paint the picture?
What it is at all. It starts with, so I collect a lot of vintage magazines, newspapers, anything starting from, late 1800s. And I start to layer those and tear them and put paint on them and rip back the layers to kind of create a texture. And then the texture kind of creates a mood. And then I add in spray paint, different colors, and then I layer on, I have a few different techniques.
Just spray paint cans like this. You have little gadgets. You spray them through, little tricks,
I got
moves.
palette knives. I got,
You got buckets all around you, all your little tools.
Yeah.
Like, how much space do you need? How many things that like look like that's a bucket of trash to somebody else? You're like, no, don't touch that.
I get messy for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, what I use a lot is those little paint mixers. Little paint mixers you get to mix the paint. So I spray paint. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. When you go to Home Depot and you buy a can of paint, they give you the wooden mixer, right?
Yeah. So
I actually spray paint the tip of that, and I use that as like a method to flick paint, kind of like a Pollock style.
Wrapping, yeah.
And so I build these layers up, and depending on what the subject matter is, I kind of plan that out, and I use print layers and hand paint in, to kind of make this cohesive piece. So, I mean, that's what I do for my originals. A lot of times that gets translated into wall wraps and different applications for commercial spaces. So mostly now, it's split. I have an Etsy site where 20% of my income.
So wall wraps
prints.
for the people that aren't so hip to the industry is ultimately like you'll go into a restaurant and you'll make an entire wall a piece of art.
Yeah, it's basically like it's like a specialized wallpaper.
Yeah.
Super high quality, and it's an original piece of artwork, but it doesn't come with the 20 hours of doing a custom mural and stopping the restaurant from opening. It's a good way to create some awesome artwork without bringing everything to a halt.
And do you feel like that you're still, with the work you're doing with the wall wraps, creating some sort of depth and like false layers that are...
it's all created from original textures. So even if I build it in Photoshop, it's based off of all the original paint textures I create. So essentially it is an original. It's just not a physical piece that you can pick up, but you can touch it.
All right, so you're making your way through life. You're doing art. You got I know you have like a bunch of restaurants in the Boston scene, others around the country that have your art everywhere. People have your pieces in their homes. Now, what else? Like, what are the other markets that you're looking at besides like restaurants or hotels? Is it that vibe? And then in people's houses?
Restaurants, hotels, businesses, pretty much anywhere that has, common spaces, lobbies, anywhere that has a lobby.
Are you looking for any work? Like people just coming to you at this point? You're totally just... Let's make it clear, right? Like, dude is crushing it. I just like make that apparent here now. So is everything just coming to you at this point?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I don't do any advertising. It's all word of mouth. And, you know, working with certain interior designers for the past few years, you know, they keep throwing you work. Certain business owners, certain restaurant owners.
Let's drop some, like, this is something I'm super stoked that I did, like some major accomplishments as far as being a mixed media artist. I'm sure, like, the first restaurant was a great feeling the first time you're selling custom pieces, but look,
sure,
drop it. I see you, like, go ahead.
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean,
don't be shy.
I've had some awesome projects. I mean, you want to talk commercial?
You do things that people are like, bro, that dude is doing that so hip. He's getting paid well to do that. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I did an awesome collaboration with Coca-Cola, which was cool.
So good.
It was, you know, it was about the Coca-Cola bottling company. So we worked with all the locals and stuff to create a custom piece for all their locations all around New England and then into Japan. So that was really cool. That was interesting. That was a few months of back and forth, and it was a really cool process. I work with the great people at Lululemon.
Julie, great people.
Julie Costa, I got to give her a shout out. She brought me to Lululemon.
Sweat Republic, what's good?
And we did the whole Seaport store over there in Boston, which was great. And then as of recently, I mean, I've done a bunch of work with celebrities and been on a few shows on television.
So right now you just did something with Lil Jon, right?
Did a sick piece for Lil Jon. Lil Jon is now my friend. I can safely say that. I can text him about the state of the world, and we'll have cool conversations just about that. You know, it's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It was a process. Yeah, he was in Boston at Mariel, which is a nightclub, a Cuban nightclub.
Yep.
Owned by Chris Jameson, who's also been a great client of mine over the years. He had seen some of my work and asked if I could grab my number and do something for his tequila bar in his house. So
Chris was like, "Yo, is it all right with you if I give you a number to Lil Jon?"
That's what happened.
He wants to buy your piece.
So that was cool, man. It was a cool experience. I mean, it's great because I always said that I wanted art to be my ticket to seeing the world and to, you know, meeting people all over, and that's just kind of what's happened.
And it has definitely been that for you.
Yeah, it's great. It's
let's get into some of the struggles that you have or the perceived stereotypes, people looking at you like, bro, you're a part-timer, you don't do anything. Oh, must be nice. Like, a lot of people say, must be nice. Dude, must be nice to just be like doodling on the wall and people give you all their money.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the stigma of the common artist, right? Is that we just like get high and paint our feelings all night, which is not the case. You gotta run
paint our feelings all night.
You gotta run a legitimate business. You gotta get up early. You gotta hustle. You gotta fill out contracts. You gotta deal with people you don't necessarily want to deal with.
So you're saying there's work outside of the creating of the art?
I'd actually say it's
an administrative task.
It's 70% dealing with the stuff you don't want to deal with, and 30%
So you're not sleeping all the time, and then just like waking up and slapping some paint on the wall.
My friends still think that I get up at 10:30 in the afternoon.
What particular friends think this?
There's a whole slew of them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name them by name.
What time do you wake up, Marcus?
Well, you know, during COVID at the beginning, it was a little later. It'd be around 9, but now I'm back to the regularly scheduled program around 7:30.
Okay.
You know. Up and at 'em.
Up and at 'em. Painting walls.
I mean, I thought I was retired, but now I guess I got work to do. So
yeah. So where does this artistic side of Markus Sebastiano come from? Like, is your mom at home drawing, painting, creating? Like, were you inspired by your family?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of creative people in my family, and a lot of my ancestors and, you know, my great grandfathers and grandfathers. We're all builders and creatives in a sense. None of them were particularly painters or artists, but they were creatives. Yeah. My dad has always worked with his hands. He owns a sheet metal shop and can pretty much make anything. So I consider him an artist of metal.
Yeah.
And then my mom and my sisters, we're from a big math family. Everyone's into math. They're math teachers, mathematicians,
multiply
statistics
anything.
people. And you know what, man?
Let's not brush by the sheet metal shop, because you spent a lot of time in there as a teenager working with your dad.
Yeah.
So did that affect your artwork at all? Presentation? Did the sheet metal ever get involved with what you were doing there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff I did in college was sculpture.
As I just changed the topic.
Yeah, no, I mean, I grew up in that shop with him. I think I was maybe 11 or 12. I would just go in there and just be around the shop and, do little things for him. Pretend I was working. I guess I wasn't really working, but I thought I was working. And, I kind of learned the trade. I actually have my master sheet metals license, which is pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, I got
I don't think I knew that about you. Congratulations
I got
on that.
grandfathered in. That was one of those things that say grandfathered,
Yeah.
Now you got to take all these tests and stuff, but.
All right, now let's get back to the story. So, artistic in the family goes through there. Your sisters, anyone?
I mean, they're all creative in their own ways, but they didn't choose to take a creative pursuit as a career path. They just, and I, since I was young, I just always wanted to kind of see what I was made of, and watching my dad run his own business for the last 40 years, was also. Kind of inspired me to be like, maybe I could just do my own thing and not work for anyone. Or
when was the last time you've worked for somebody that somebody was like, you got to be here at this, not like for a couple of days to go, like I'm saying, like you had a job that you went to and that was your financial.
I mean, I never really had a legit
Did you ever have a job?
I was always working in the trade. So whether I was landscaping or masonry or sheet metal or cutting down trees or carpentry, I always felt more comfortable doing that because that's kind of where I'm from. I'd feel uncomfortable if I had to go work in an office, and that's not, it's just not for everyone, and it wasn't really for me. So I just, I actually stayed in my comfort zone in that sense, outside of like internships, but. I mean,
never had an office job, no long stretch with a paycheck with the taxes coming right out of it, that kind of scene.
Never. Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, do you take care of yourself? Like physically?
I try my best, man. I try to eat as healthy as I can.
Let's talk about the trying process. Like, is it mostly successful trying?
I have
the failing side of trying.
I have the balance. Sometimes it's failing, but mostly
because you look good from here.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I know we're far from each other, but you look
lately. Good. Well, during the COVID times, it did fall off a little bit, and but once you.
What were you doing? What aided in the fall off? Was it like no exercise with lots of food?
It's just.
What are you eating?
Eating too much.
What is it?
Eating too much, drinking too much. It's really just the too much.
Too much what though? Chips.
You're putting chips and guacamole in front of me and queso, and you're at a Mexican place.
Just keep consuming.
I'm not good at the shut off. I'm like, I'm eating this and I'm drinking this.
Tequila.
And then tequila. I love tequila.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
Do you ever do any of your artwork while you have a little buzz going? You're like, I got it going right now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then get back to it the next day, and you're like, that's some buzzed art right there. Is there any kind of joke in the industry for like, I did that piece when I was wrecked because I don't
know if there's like an inside joke, but it's just like I know that we share the same sentiment when you end up going back to the studio the next morning. You're like, what was I thinking?
Boy!
I thought it was good. I thought that was good. But
how frequent are like complete start over? Does that happen, or is it just layers go on top?
There's been a bunch. I typically take it slow when I'm building up the layers, so I can kind of assess where I'm at. Just because it takes so much time to create the texture, I don't really want to.
But like, do you ever look at a piece and go, throwing that out?
Well, I've tried to maybe like, what do you call that? Compensate like one side. I try to like change something and it goes wrong, and then I end up basically covering the whole thing because I get aggravated and. I'm sick of looking at it, and I think I suck, and then I just go through through the whole mental travesty of the piece.
Let's talk about the mental side of it. So you're working on a piece here, and you're feeling great, listening to music, and then all of a sudden there's this thought that comes into your mind. You're like, wait a minute. What am I doing? What is this? Is this?
Yeah, this.
So the doubt side of it still exists at this point.
There's not. No, usually I'm pretty directional in like what I'm creating. I'm not. It depends. If I'm just like blowing off steam and I'm creating an abstract piece of art, it's emotional. You go through these stages where it's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad, and you're just trying to get into a flow state and paint a feeling, kind of delve into the unknown.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it's like directional, where I have like a certain process I follow, and I'm trying to create something specific, like a portrait.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. But, there is that flow state where you just, sometimes you kind of just disappear for hours, and you're like, what just happened? Like, where was I? And then you step back and look at it, and it could be good, it could be bad.
How about the points where you're presenting the work to the client? Like, in those situations, as time has gone on, like 10 years ago to now, when you're like, oh, I gotta push send, or oh, I'm gonna meet the guy. Like, how much has it gone from, oh my gosh, to like, I just really can't even care anymore?
I mean,
I'm assuming it's that I can't really even care anymore. Like, I'm just confident this is my thing.
You become pretty good at preparing and reading the client. So, you kind of know what they expect. And
as painting client is here, and you're like, all right, they're kind of manipulating the work a little bit.
Well, I mean, it just depends on the client. Like, if they're saying, a lot of people will say, like, do what you want. We want a portrait of this woman's face.
Yeah.
We want these colors. And then you kind of go at it, give them a proof, tell them how it's kind of going to look. And I've never had anything go bad. I've never had anyone not be happy. Usually they're like,
you know what, Marcus, we're not going to take this, and there'll be no payment.
Yeah, that's only happened one time, when a lady thought she was ordering an original painting for $500, and she got a print, and she was wondering where the paint strokes were. That only happened once.
Yeah. So you're healthy, you're fit, you're exercising now. There's less chips and guacamole at the end of the day.
Sure.
And you feel good. Sure.
I feel great.
Yeah, you look good. I already told you that. Let's talk about things that have occurred along the way, in like specific other ventures that you've been a part of. I know there's been several that have had a legitimate buzz about them and around them over the years, that led you to where you are now. What was the first thing that you were like, okay, I'm a part of something here, and I'm excited about this first business?
Originally, it was 8-9 Apparel. That was
8-9.
2000.
Yeah.
2002. I think it was 2002.
Yeah, is that when it was?
2002.
I love 8-9.
Yeah, it was great. That was the first venture. It was the first apparel company, and it was a learning experience for sure. I mean, we jumped right in. We had street teams. We were making jeans in Pakistan. We were dyeing jeans in the basement for months at a time, creating customs.
Yeah, keep going.
And that was like, in a sense, that was art, and I learned how to push
They were
a
very
product.
unique designs.
That was an extension of my art, I guess. I mean, I was making custom jeans with colors and spray paint and ripping holes and, creating customs for people. But that was the first time that I got the entrepreneurial bug, and I was like, oh man, this is cool. Like, you can create this awesome network. You can move around with a lot of people. You can influence. You can sell things. It taught me how to walk into a store and sell products.
There's an opportunity,
and it was
There's
also
a lane.
like, it became like a family. It became a big family, and it became a pursuit. And, I got addicted to that pursuit. I didn't know that I ever even wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But once you start seeing results from hard work, it's kind of addicting to see, like, oh, wow, I did that. Like, we did that. That was a group effort, but it was also like a lot of
the fulfillment that's associated with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the first time that I was like, man, this is like the life I want to live. This life of freedom and this life of creating a design and putting it on a shirt or putting it on a sweatshirt or a jacket.
Seeing like soldiers walking around out there repping 8-9, like the team was deep,
and
product was
people
moving,
buying it, and just it was a lifestyle brand. I mean, there was skateboarders, rappers, rock artists. There was someone from everywhere rocking this shit, which was
great. It sounds like everything is the best with 8-9, but you're not a part of that at this point. So what happened there? You chose to walk away.
Yeah, it was just
what
too
happened,
much at
Marcus?
the time in my personal life. It was a struggle. We weren't making money. My partner Ray and I kind of just had like creative differences on some things, and it was just time for me to step away.
Let's give him the respect of his full name.
Ray Gilbo.
Ray Gilbo.
Great dude. Ray and I reconnected over the last couple of years, and we have a really good relationship now. But at the time, like, that's what life is, right? Like,
man.
You don't know.
So give me an idea on how old you were at this point.
I was 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
I was 24, and we had been at it for like 4 years.
Yep.
Or 3 or 4 years, and yeah, I broke down, man. I was working 120 hours a week. I had no job. I had no money. I was taking out loans to support the company.
Yeah.
There was no end in sight for when we were going to get paid or take a paycheck.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and I didn't have control on my own. And that's the thing is like, even being an entrepreneur, you get to a point where you're like, I want to be able to make my own decisions.
Yep.
And at that point, I was early 20s. Like, you want to live your life. You want to travel. You want to do things. And so I broke off and I moved to San Diego and said, I'm going to go live this life for a little bit and surf and hang out with people and, work at a bar.
So 2 things I want to touch on there on the 8-9 thing. The first one is, where is 8-9 now? Does that company exist?
Yeah, 8-9's based in Miami.
Yep.
From what I know, they're doing great.
Yeah, it seems like a hugely successful company. I know that 8-9 is associated with Drink Champs, and I love that show. I love Nori. Yeah.
I love Nori too. Nori's great.
Oh, man. Oh, golly, I do. So you had wait, hold on. I got my second thing now. You said that 8-9 in the early times, it helps you to express your artistic side.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to hold on.
All right. What do you got? What do you got? Some jeans?
So would you say that?
Would you
say that this here is like one of your finer pieces?
Oh no.
Of work?
Oh wow. You know what? I don't know if I designed that. I don't think I did that one. I did the logo. I know I did the logo. Wow, look at that thing. What is that, a XXX?
That's a XXL. Now, you guys were serving the big boys, or was it small kids?
No, that was an XXL type of person.
Wow, man. This is
the infinity symbol.
Look at that. Would you look at this? Would you look at it?
I have to say, that holds up still today. I mean, you can see people wearing that
right now.
Kids
could rep this.
Yeah.
But back then, it was Cameron. Now it could be anybody.
You should raffle that off on the show. You should raffle that off.
What's good, 8-9? Ray and I had this jam. Look at that. Would you look at it?
That's great.
It's still going. This is good.
When did we make those? That's nuts. The jerseys. Those were big back then.
Yeah.
Matching the sneakers, matching the Jordans.
What?
Yeah.
I said Noriega. You had some time with Nori. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I had a funny experience with Nori.
What's your funny experience with Nori? Nori,
he was
hip hop legend, host of Drink Champs with DJ EFN. What's up?
He came to Lawrence. He came to Lawrence with Term and those guys, with Easy Money, Chris
So you're
Rivers,
tied into the whole ST the Squad scene, right?
ST guys, Deadeye.
Deadeye, yeah.
Yeah, man, they came and they shot a video in the warehouse in Lawrence, and we made a giant Puerto Rican flag, like a 20-foot Puerto Rican flag for the backdrop of this video. So they all came and partied, shot the video. We went over to the club after where he was performing. Yeah, but yeah, man, it was great. He rolled up. We were smoking. We were chilling. We were rapping. We had sessions going. We had ciphers going. It was cool, man. He's
an inspiration, man.
He's the same person that he is on Drink Champs, and he's just down to earth, and he's all love. The guy's great.
I just spent some time with DJ Deadeye. I love that dude too.
I love Deadeye too.
Oh my golly, it's a good life.
Deadeye was one of my first CD covers. I think that was probably.
Because you came into the game doing a lot of hip hop CD covers, right?
Let's talk about that out. I mean, that was all. It was all really nightclub flyers, CD covers, posters, and that's when I really started learning how to use Photoshop and designing.
And isn't it funny, you mentioned to me now that all of a sudden you're doing I don't even know if we are allowed to talk about it, but I'm going to say it anyway, that you're doing a cover for Slain.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah. That's something new we got in the works with Slain. Archetype, we just spoke last week, and we got something in the works. We're going to drop something pretty exclusive with him and do a little collaboration. So I'm excited. Slain, man.
Slain's a Boston legend, man. Put in a lot of work, made it happen, just grind, been through the trenches. And, man, it's really cool that he's doing that.
Well, you know what it is? It's cool that, you grow up kind of listening to someone that does their art, right? Like he's an artist. He's a musical artist, and a hip-hop legend around here. And it's cool when you become peers in a sense, where he's like looking for your expertise. Like, how can we approach this, and
leveling up.
Now you become, on a friendly level. And it's like, man, this is like really cool. I'm getting to work with people that I always looked up to.
I mean, that's a beautiful thing about the process. And then, like, again, come back to fulfillment. The fulfillment you feel as you progress with what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
I love to see you on the path.
It's an evolution for sure.
So, from what I understand, you're I understand. People are telling me, they're talking about it. It's happening. It's like you're an adventurer. You've done quite a bit of traveling around this beautiful world that we live in. I know that you and I had quite an experience, 30 days or so out in the rainforest in Dominica in the Commonwealth, the West Indies, just like
Beautiful
hiking
place.
the goat trails for miles and miles to get our onions and potatoes.
We were living the simple life.
Man,
it was very simple and quiet and awesome.
We met Free Joseph out there. I told you before, Free Joseph somehow made his way back up here to this studio in Newburyport. We're working on some things together.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I know you had that time in Dominica. Let's talk about some other adventures of yours.
Man, there's been a few. I mean, honestly, one of the first adventures I ever had was I was 19.
Yep.
And flew out to California with one of my buddies. A couple of my other friends drove out on a Volkswagen bus, and it was back then there was no GPS, no cell phones, and we just got a book. I got a surfer's guide to California, right? Yeah. And we started basically in Mexico and went all the way north, like as far as you can go pretty much, and we just did a surf tour. Couple boards on the top of like a Toyota.
Who's with you?
Celica.
What are the names? Let's give these kids Ed Hudson. Wow, the progression of Ed Hudson. Still an amazing person, but he's a man. I think he had a child now.
Then we had Jason Bonanno and Tyler Volpe that drove out on the bus, and we met them and went on this crazy journey, man.
Wow.
First time I've ever been to like the Redwoods and like.
I know Jason Bonanno, like California boy.
King of leisure.
Yeah, he is the king of leisure.
King of leisure.
That is the reality of it all right there, man. And
But yeah, that trip gave me the bug, like you could just be free. You could take a car and go, I'm going to go left, I'm going to go right, I'm going to go to this beach and camp here for 3 days, live on peanut butter and jelly, whatever it is,
So that led to, like, in my mind, a climactic point in the kind of travels that humans can do. Sure. You actually were living in California, in San Diego, oceanfront, Mission Beach,
yeah.
At the side of Jamaica Court there, right?
Yeah, man.
And you walked out to the ocean.
Yeah.
You and two of your friends, right?
Mike and Noah, yeah.
You, Mike, and Noah walk out to the ocean. You touch the water.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and pedal those bicycles that I didn't even mention yet.
Yeah.
Across the entire country.
Yeah.
From San Diego, California, touching the water in the ocean.
Yeah.
All the way from the salt in that ocean, from the salt that dripped out of your skin, sweating across the country, to the salt that you touched in the ocean in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Pacific to Atlantic. Epic trip.
Yes.
Yeah,
man. Are you painting that? Are you painting these adventures like in your are they totally affecting the art that you do?
I'm not painting them, but I go back to that place that I was in my mind for 44 days, and like the quiet and just like the meditative state I was in that whole time.
Was it even quiet when you started pedaling and you approached the first light and you fell off your bicycle?
Yeah. First day, I'd never used the clip-ins, and I fell off my bike at like the first light. I'd never used my clip-ins. I had never put on the bags, never even tested the my equipment.
Yeah.
But I was yellow. I was like, whatever, I'm doing it.
So pedaling in your mind, what would you say is the most prominent thing that you learned along this journey, aside from how much you really got to know the people you were with and everything about them? Because I'm sure that was...
It's, you just really get to explore kind of these middle and nowhere towns throughout the country. Like there's no other way you would travel to these places if you were going even to like from city to city.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the places that are like I don't know, 100 miles from the highway.
Yeah.
And you're just meeting like everyday people. Like you're meeting the people that have lived in the middle of the country, the farmers, the people that actually supply most of the country with the food, the water, the milk, whatever
like,
it is.
Were people
it's
like when you're in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, whatever, were people greeting you like, "Whoa, what's going on, guys?"
The thing is I realize everyone's friendly. Like everyone.
I feel the
especially
same way.
When you're rolling through a town, like on bicycles,
Clearly
dirty
a nomad
yeah.
status going on, yeah.
And people would offer up their homes. They'd offer us food, dinners, and it was incredible, man. People have really interesting stories. We met some great people, and we stayed in some awesome places.
So I started that with what did you learn along this trip about yourself, or did it build character? Did you what?
There was
human limitations.
The thing that well, there are a few things. One, that if you say you're gonna do something, you should really follow through and doing that. And that was like my.
Did you prepare for it?
I prepared in the best way possible. You know, I was training on a BMX bike. I was I was in pretty good shape, but not in the shape to ride 80 to 100 miles a day on a bike.
Right. My ability to interrupt your answers is incredible. So
you kind of train. You train for the trip while on the trip. That's kind of what we learned. Really, you're training while you're riding, and you're becoming a machine. And also, the quiet in your mind that you create, like the meditative state, which I was touching on before, is like you have 8 to 10 hours a day just to think. You're just in your head. You're just pedaling. You're thinking back to like your first grade experience. Like you're thinking,
what's your first grade teacher's name?
Mrs. Carney.
Shout out, Mrs. Carney. Yeah.
Dude, you're going back and going like, wait, first grade teacher, second grade teacher, who's the other teacher? You like
got some time to just act. Yeah.
You're thinking about friends that you forgot about when you were young. You're thinking about other people's lives.
You know what? I got to call Frankie.
Yeah. And you know what? I tell people one of the best parts of that whole trip was that I had like a little Nokia cell phone, right? That you only turn on once when the day's over. You maybe check it for the time. And every day we would do a verbal update on the voicemail and say like, hey guys, we made it 80 miles today. We made it 100 miles today. We're doing good. We're hurting, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I leave that at the end of the day. I'd shut the phone off. I wake up 5:30 in the morning to get back on the road. And the inspiration for the day, I'd turn that thing on and be 30 messages. It would be great aunts. It would be old friends. It would be people that, it would be good friends. It would be you. It would be, I think about people like Kevin Lynch. He would call me every day, like leave me these pump up messages. Then I got Marky calling and saying like, hey, whenever you're ready.
Marky, Planet Z was good.
People saying whenever you're ready for the plane ticket home, was sending it when you're ready to opt out. And it was like this motivation every day to keep going. And like you had all these people supporting you.
Can you tell me if there was ever a point where somebody maybe cheated?
Cheated like how?
Took a train.
Oh yeah. We didn't cheat, but we hit some times where we
hopped trains.
We went a different route, so we went all the way up into Canada.
That route, yeah.
We kind of went across the United States and we went all the way up to Illinois, up into Canada.
Yeah.
But we ran out of tubes at one point. Noah had used all his tubes. There was no bike stores for like hundreds of miles.
Wow.
So we had to hitchhike. We hitchhiked a few times, got to a train, and kind of went north, and then got back on our path. So, I mean, overall, the whole trip riding, we definitely did like 3,500,
3,500 miles on your bike. Your 3,600. 3,600. Quads are crushing, feeling so good.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Dude, that is epic right there.
You'd wake up at like 3 a.m. with these crazy leg spasms, and you're just like, what is happening in my body? Like, rejecting me.
So that's a life-defining situation, riding your bike. This dude rode his bicycle across the country. Don't get it confused there. Now, let's talk about, are there any other moments in your life, major life-defining moments, things that happened that affected your overall character, your being, and your way as a human?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot. I'd say, man, I mean, when I was really young, I don't know how to, funny thing to explain, but when I was really young, I've experienced some tragedy. I was like 18 years old. I lost like my high school sweetheart and my cousin who was like my sister in a car accident, which, it was one of those things that kind of defined the rest of my life, because I had, this reality that I thought I was living in before that, and then a post reality where it's like, all right, well, I thought life was this, and now life is this. So I'm like, what is life? Like, what is reality? What is God? What is enlightenment? What are we doing? Like, is this a fixed reality we're living in? Is this like go to work, get a job, have a family? It was really more about me questioning my path in life, like me questioning what should I be doing, and it kind of set me on in a journey of exploration, like exploration of meeting new people, having new experiences. I just knew that this time on this earth or in this reality was pretty temporary, seeing that these like beautiful people
here 1 second accident occurs
that did no harm, that did no wrong, and that was my whole thing is like, how can God take how can this God that I was always being preached
prior
to about,
did you felt you believed in a God before this?
I mean, I grew up going to like a Catholic school when I was young, and that God was always like forced. It was kind of like a forced thing, and coming from an Italian Catholic family, it's like, I had always questioned it since I was young. Like, well, that doesn't make sense, heaven and hell, and redemption, and all this stuff's weird. Going to confession, talking to another guy about what I did wrong, but at this point, it really made me question.
Your girlfriend
everything.
Take it from you. Your cousin, who was like a dear, dear friend, not like your cousin you don't know, like shared the same actual yards connected together. Basically, your sister.
It shook me.
Let's say their names, Deidre and Vicky.
Deidre and Vicky, and Kristen, which was another good friend too, that passed, and Elena, all in the car. 4 girls in the car. I mean, it's a tragedy, and you know what? I think about this often. It's a weird thing to say that I was fortunate in a way to benefit from some of the residuals from that, but what happened was it created this bond between all these people, all my friends, all our families. It's like we were from a small town, and in that town there was nobody that was not affected by this tragedy. So it's like your enemies became your friends. Like everything just got dropped to the ground. You didn't have like resentment for people that you thought you might have not liked or might not have liked you or whatever. Not that I had like a lot of that going on in my life, but I mean, essentially,
it gave you an honest dose of reality at a young age for a whole lot of people.
What it gives you is the understanding that love kind of trumps all. Like love, forgiveness, understanding, compassion, support, family. Like these things are the most important, because that's what helped everyone get through this. Without each other, forget it, man. Like people wouldn't have made it. Like my aunt and uncle wouldn't have made it. Like my parents wouldn't have made it. Vicky's parents wouldn't have made it.
Like the support unit was so incredibly strong.
And that's still that lasting. That lasting bond is still there. And
completely there.
I had a conversation with this dude a few weeks ago. I went, me and my
dude. Dude, do they say that all over the country? The word dude? Just dude in general, dude.
Oh, when I say like this dude, I think they do. I think a lot of people say that.
Okay, dude. Yeah, it's like surfer, dude. Okay, carry on.
But so I went. Me and my friends, a lot of them, my old friends, during COVID, were like getting bored, so we start, buying old trucks, and we bought a bunch of mopeds. We're in this little like moped little crew now.
He gets bored, starts buying old trucks and mopeds.
Yeah, I'm just like, what am I supposed to do?
That's a unique hobby.
So I ended up traveling out to Western Mass, actually, very ironic. I went and traveled to Athol, which is the town that those girls had passed away in.
Yeah.
That got in the car accident. And I went out and bought this moped, this Pook moped from this dude. And man, it was
what was the word you used? Pook?
Pook. P-U-C-H.
Oh, like a pooch. Yeah. Pook. That's how you say it?
I think it was pooch. It's actually Pook.
Pook.
So I went out.
So I like that. If I was a rapper, I would be Pook. Yeah.
So I find this guy on Facebook Marketplace. He's got this sick, souped up Pook, and I start talking to him. He calls me. He's like, "Yeah, come on, meet me." So I go out and meet this guy to buy this moped from him. And I'm telling you, this guy is like the ghost of my Christmas future. The
ghost of my Christmas future.
He's like 55 years old.
Oh my God.
Hanging out with all his like homeboys from his hometown, and riding in scooter gangs, riding in motorcycle gangs. But anyway, he said to me, we had these great conversations, and he's like, I feel really fortunate that I'm still friends with a lot of the guys I grew up with like a lot of these.
Yeah.
He's like, I meet so many people that don't have relationships with the people that were close to them when they were young and that have continued to have these relationships.
It's like that part of your life becomes like a movie. It's like a strange memory, like Ghosts in the Closet, when the humans that were there don't exist now.
I don't have that, and a lot of that, I've kept these relationships with people throughout my life, and I think it's because of that thing that happened to everyone.
You have a lot of friends, right?
Yeah, I've been best man in 5 weddings.
Wow, look at that. One of them was mine.
One of them was yours, baby.
Yeah, that's true, right?
That was the best speech.
That's true what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the best speech I ever had.
Wow, what a speech it was. What a speech.
Yeah.
So, you the partying type? I know you partied extensively.
I wouldn't say I party like party.
Not like when kids like, hey, do you party? You're not like, yeah, dude.
No, I'm not partying like that. I'm partying like I'll have
Funny
too many
how
drinks.
You can say it means a totally different thing.
I'm like an old man now. I don't want. If I see 2 a.m. If I see 2 a.m. on the clock, I'm like, oh shit. I gotta go.
Oh boy.
I gotta go.
Oh boy. So you went to college, UMass Lowell. Is that true? Love that.
Yep.
Art.
Yeah, art, graphic.
What is
design.
that? A degree you get for art?
Fine art. Yeah,
fine art degree.
Fine art. They make you take
Is that
art
what you
history.
do? Fine art.
I wouldn't consider it fine art. I would consider it.
When you're about to sell a piece, when you're like, hey, I'm about to give you my piece, do you bring up the degree?
My piece. No, I don't.
You don't bring up the degree?
I don't really.
Does the degree ever come up?
It actually comes up a lot when you're showing at a place like, I did a show at the MFA. When you're showing in these prestigious places, I was like, oh, well, where did you study? And I'm always like, UMass, like in a basement. Well, it wasn't like I didn't study art.
So
really.
you would lose some clout if you were like,
I'd probably be better off just saying I didn't go to college, to be honest.
Yeah, because UMass, you wouldn't say that that's a respected art program like that.
It wasn't then.
Ooh,
now
UMass.
I had some very well-respected, world-renowned teachers at UMass, which I did. Arno Minkinen, my photography teacher.
Arno Minkinen?
Arno Minkinen.
What a name. Just that in itself is art.
World-class Finnish photographer.
You say it and you feel like you could paint anything.
Dude, he's
right after.
He was a great influence.
What's the goal with the art, man? Like, what are you trying to get done here?
The goal
is it just money, freedom?
The goal is to work when I want, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is still to create my own pieces and just make a living off of selling those internationally. I mean, I love doing the commissions, but I also want to really get deeper into my work these days and produce on another level that I produced in the past. So, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to, you got to make a living, so you got to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Because, some months you don't sell a lot of originals and some months you do, but, you're also beautifying and creating awesome spaces for other people, which I really enjoy, and I love the process.
And at the level that you're at, they're lasting pieces, and they're not pieces like, okay, we're done living here, we don't have room for this anymore, let's throw it away. Like, that's not it. It's like a resell operation with the art of Markus Sebastiano.
Yeah, I mean, I have people now that are like collectors, so they have several pieces, and they'll keep coming back to me when they have new wall space free up, or they're moving into a new house somewhere and saying, hey, we need some more pieces, and it's cool, man. It's cool to see people have several of my artworks on their walls, and and then they'll maybe create, want to do a commission piece or something.
Do you see yourself doing this forever? Like, is this like until you're on your deathbed? Would you have no regrets if this kind of thing carried out, or do you think this is relatively short term?
I will always be creating something. I mean, it's not. I always say, like, to people that want to either get in the art game or the music game or want to leave their jobs or whatever it is, it's like you should never be defined by your past. Like, you should never be defined by what you've done before. Like, I think everyone can be creative, and I think everyone can do whatever they want. Like, just prove it to themselves. But I mean, in that sense, I've always wanted to make a movie. I mean, I've always wanted to be more creative with visuals, and I'm like, all this stuff is still on the table for me. And it's just, I want to keep making art the way that I do. I also love curating. I love making spaces look awesome with other people's art.
Is like, in your head, art, it's like, right now my media might be more of like the actual, like, here's a physical thing that you can look at, but art is an all-encompassing creation. You want to write books.
Sure.
You want to create movies.
Sure,
like,
I kind of want to do it all. And it's like, that's the thing, is like,
you want to open gifts?
Gifts?
Yeah.
Like presents?
Yeah, like when someone gives you a gift, do you like
I don't
that?
know, I feel uncomfortable when people
Do
give me
you?
presents.
Let's get uncomfortable.
What do you got? What do you got?
Noise. Making some noise.
Oh boy, what do you got?
This is the goodie box. All right, slide that down. Come on. Careful now. You're gonna have to pick it up a little. Yeah, careful. Careful. Let's open it up. Let's see what's in it.
Stay behind the mic.
Yeah.
Knife
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Oh,
All
look
right.
at
Let's go one at a time here with this.
Wow, look at
So
this thing.
I'm just getting into it with you. So this here, because I know that you just got a new
This
place.
is sick.
It's a little housewarming gift. What do you think?
I love these, man.
Pretty
These
good,
are
that little
great.
bamboo tray, right? That's hip. That
Little
works.
Teacups.
That works. What else is in the bag?
What is in this?
Oh, my
Enjoy
God.
your life, baby. Enjoy your life.
I think you have that one
Not
already.
life is good. It is enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life. Don't
Include
get
you.
it twisted, y'all.
What are these?
Enjoy your life
What are
brand,
these?
everything. So let's talk about those. Let's talk about this.
What the hell
So
are these?
somebody got me those, you know? Maybe it was me for myself. What's on the pocket?
What are these?
But I wore them, and I didn't really like them. They're way too big. I figured. I've also decided that maybe
This is
that
great.
I might just
A little
always
shaker?
give somebody a piece of my old
A little gym
clothing
shaker?
on the show. Yeah.
A
You
little
got a
free
CD.
volt.
Yeah. There you go.
Another enjoy your life, Michael
Yeah.
Bernier.
There you go.
Solo. What do we got here?
I don't know. You know, like I'm in the world like you are. You get a lot of free stuff, so I'm like,
Celia Woodsmith.
ooh, what's
Casper, I
that
know
right
this
there?
one.
Casper, what's
Shout
good,
out
Steve?
to Casper. I
Yeah.
did produce this or make this.
Yeah, that's right. That's your art on that. I didn't even put that together as it went into the box.
There's
I
so
thought you'd
much
like the
stuff in here.
name. You like vinyls, you
This
know?
is sick.
Yeah.
I'll take
Oh,
that.
Oblivion, Jay Allen.
How much stuff do I got?
Keep
in here?
going. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling.
This is crazy.
What do you have there? Tank. Ooh, yeah, it's a tank top. Evolvement
I'll take
Music.
that.
That's the
Evolvement
studio that we're in. Much love, Evolvement Music.
We got
Yeah.
more enjoy your life stickers.
Yeah, stickers. Just throw them on the floor. Who cares? It's fun. It's fun.
Revolt, enjoy your life.
What else? What do we
Look at
have
this,
here?
dude? Muddy.
Wow,
Muddy.
Real Theory.
Real
Oh,
Theory. This is
golly.
classic.
What is up, Andrew? Muddy Real Theory Productions. That is
Muddy's,
classic right there.
Beantown, Greentown.
Dude,
now.
Beantown, Greentown, what is really going on? You know I love you and your girl with that
We
free
got
spirit van.
Koozies, Jacob
Koozies.
Green.
Wow.
We got We Newburyport.
Yeah, because you live in Newburyport, Massachusetts now. I
live in
figured you
Newburyport
know,
now, by the way.
get connected with
You
it.
guys don't
I'm
know.
sorry if I wasn't supposed to say that. My
No,
bad.
you can say we're gonna make that
Yeah.
announcement right now.
Yeah.
This is
Wow.
great, dude.
There you go. Nice box.
Dude, I got a box.
You got a
This is
box.
My box of tricks.
What's the best piece? I think it's the cups.
Dude, these cups are.
Those shorts are good though. Those shorts, you gonna wear
Did you make
those?
those shorts?
Did I make those shorts?
Or did I? I think I feel like I made them.
No, I think this is what happened. One, I know what happened. One day we went to the beach. We was surfing, and there was a bunch of us, and I had those shorts on, and Markio had them on too.
No.
Yeah, we both showed up with the same shorts,
No.
and everyone
Is
was
that what
making
happened?
fun of him. They're like, "Wow, look at the difference you can have with." Because he was all out of shape and whatever, and they were all making fun of him. You were a part of it. They're like, "Wow, same shorts, and you look like whatever."
That's so funny.
So now you have the shorts.
Oh, I'm gonna give them back to Marky.
Wow, that's it. How do you like that little gift box? Feel good about that? That was fun.
I love it. I mean, I feel like I have a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
But
What do you think about me giving Because we got a lot of guests lined up, and a lot of them I don't know like I know you.
you should
so
give them always.
I'm gonna give them a piece of
little box
my
tricks.
clothing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give them a box of tricks, but I'm gonna include just.
Give them a couple
One of my
old
old shirts.
photographs, like something from
Things.
your dad. Just random
was good.
things.
Yeah, like 5 minutes went by right there, and it was just like, geez, what a good time. What a good time. What a good time. Did the pandemic affect you as an artist at all? Did that have an
Pandemic?
impact on like no work? People weren't trying to buy?
Had an effect on my mental state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
What do you mean? You were depressed? You were crying? You were sad?
no, I wasn't crying.
Did you go through a breakup?
I
Like
wasn't
these kinds of
depressed.
things?
I mean, it brought on some anxiety seeing that
Yeah.
like this has been like a 10-year career in the
How do
making.
you define anxiety?
Anxiety is like
couldn't sleep, breathe.
maybe being somewhere in your head that you don't want to be, just maybe overthinking things like
Yeah.
is my business gonna succeed through this thing? Like my business is hospitality, it's restaurant, it's hotel. and those places
My
are just
industry
shut down.
just doesn't even exist. My
Yours
whole
is
entire
gone?
world gone.
Yeah,
Like
everything
honestly,
was-
like new
everything was
career.
frozen.
Hey, podcast guy and side projects I can't talk about. Like
Yeah,
that's
your
it.
whole
Like
career was on
I'm
hold.
not traveling the country being an MC. That's not even a reality. It's so far from what I do.
Yeah, it was.
I don't even see people. Millions of people touching. So much touching. No touching. No touching.
No touch for
No
you.
touching.
No touching for you at all.
No.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. I mean,
It's no touch.
I
Will.
thought it was going to affect me more than it did, but luckily enough, I had some projects that carried me through.
Yeah.
The COVID thing, I was working on the Little John thing for a few months, so that kind of gave me some time to really make that nice for him.
Yeah.
And then,
Just to give you an idea on the cost of a piece, if you're wondering piece price, when you can work on something for a few months, and that's one piece, it's a good price.
it's good. It's in between 5,000 and 20,000. What all I can give you. But yeah, that you know, but it was good, man. It was good. At first it was, you know, I never realized that I always knew I was an anxious person in some ways,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize that like I could hit that point where it was like a little bit of what's happening, like what is this feeling,
Yeah.
like what is this nervousness, like this uncertainty of the world. So I focused. I started meditating a lot. I started just kind of like taking time a little slower. You know, I was just like doing breathing techniques. We were all doing it, like
No, man.
Wim Hof breathing. We were doing things to pass the time. You're reconnecting with old friends. You're FaceTiming. You're actually like nurturing relationships you hadn't been nurturing because time slowed down. So I
Yes.
have a new appreciation for what we all went through
Yeah.
and what we're still going through. But luckily enough, people are still buying art. People
Yeah.
are still supporting this business. And now it's like I'm busier than I've been in years. And I'm like, what just happened?
Coming out of the
I
gate,
was
things
like-
starting to come alive again.
I thought I was on vacation. I was like, I'm retired. But, you know, obviously you got to
good.
pay the bills.
What a feeling it was to just have so much time to not be like in vans and on airplanes.
I know.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I still love it. I don't know.
But it's coming back. We'll be back someday.
Let's talk about, aside from like creating art or like somebody wants your piece or whatever, like what's the perfect moment for you as a human being? Like
In
what would
life
you...
or with what I do? Or what?
No, nothing to do with career. Just like right now, like tomorrow morning, you're lying in your bed. There you are, all cozied up, rubbing your feet together, you know, with your big toenails. And I come over and I slap you in the face. Right?
Yeah.
And you wake up and you're like, dude, what are you doing to me right now? And I'm like, you can do anything in the world. I don't have to be a part of it. Doesn't matter. Don't even think about it. Pick the people, pick the place. It's on right now. Bliss, where is it? What is
Where
it?
would I go?
Yeah. See ya. Who?
I love island life.
Yeah.
I love traveling to beaches. I love surfing. I love being in like beach communities, and
You got any spots
and
around the
and
world
I love
that really...
nice people. As of recently, we keep going back to Rincon, Puerto Rico, which I
Yeah.
really love. Awesome little community, surf community there.
Who are you going over there with?
Last time I went with a girlfriend. The time before that I went with Trent, my good friend Trent from Mutt Society.
Mutt Society, yeah.
Trent-
You gotta check out Mutt
Trent
Society,
Broward.
Mutt Society Romania. Yeah.
Check out Mutt Society. They're doing great things for
Yeah.
kids, man. You should definitely check them out.
Seriously, no joke. Yeah.
Raising a lot of money and giving bicycles to kids. Yeah, the last time we went there, surfing, me, him, and Brywood, and it's just awesome. You get a house near the beach. You wake up 5:30 in the morning. You go down. You check
Buy
the
a
surf.
house there yet?
No buying yet.
No buying.
We're rethinking the buying.
Let me know.
We're
Let me
rethinking
know.
the buying. just
Maybe you make me a
because-
key.
because of the earthquakes, because of some of the uncertainty with Puerto
Yeah,
Rico right now. But
yeah.
you know, I think we're gonna go for like a month, maybe in January, if we can get away,
Yeah.
get into something.
Your perfect moment is ultimately surfing. It's not. It's just like you can actually have bliss in many situations.
Yeah, I don't think about it. Like I think like what gives me pleasure. It's like gives me pleasure is walking my dog. You know, my little dog Jerry Seinfeld. Me and Jerry hanging out.
Why is your dog's name Jerry Seinfeld? I'm gonna guess you love Seinfeld.
I love Seinfeld, and it was I started looking for a dog, and when I found the dog, his name was Jerry, so it matched up.
His name was already Jerry.
It was already Jerry. It wasn't the dog
Well,
that
his
ended
name
up
was
getting,
Jerry, not already Jerry.
but
yeah.
but I ended up getting a different dog and naming him Jerry. But yeah, just the simple things, man, like going for a walk, saying hi to people, being out in nature. I mean, these things, simple, non-stressful, everyday outdoor activities make.
So you like people.
I love people, man.
You like people.
I love people's stories. I love connecting with people. I don't
Are you
I
fair?
don't like all people.
Are you fair to? How do you determine whether you like people or not?
I mean,
Based on personal experience, I guess is the only answer I'm looking for. Is based on personal experience or because somebody is
here's
a
the
part
thing.
of-
I'm more attracted to people that I think are being themselves.
Yeah.
I'm more attracted to engaging with people that I think are gonna reciprocate or just being, for lack of a better word, normal, but just be open. Just be just be themselves. Like, I don't like when people are putting on a front. I don't like when people are trying to oversell me on stuff. It's just like I've been doing a whole Seinfeld skit about this for the last couple of days about like the Comcast guy. I'm trying to set up Comcast and I'm like, buddy, can you just slow down for 2 seconds? Just be a human being. Like,
red
hey,
field. Yeah.
you're just treating me like a robot. You are being a robot and treating me like a robot. Like, let's have a connection. Like, I know you go home every day from work. I know you like TV.
Yeah, you like sandwiches?
Yeah, like, what'd you eat
You like
today?
chips on the side? Yeah. Can you just give me internet and not talk about the triple platinum play card? And do I know about the red carpet?
It's just like the world has
internet.
become a place where everyone kind of has to play their position, and I understand that.
Can you believe we pay for the internet?
I just
Can't
said
that
this.
just be a part
I was
of
just
the
saying
taxes? Like, why is internet? It's
Why are we paying for
everywhere
that?
around us, and like I'm paying. It seems so like archaic. Sorry, like just
I just
the internet.
said this 2 days ago. It's
Dude,
funny you said that.
I get the mail. I get the internet. Let's go.
Yeah, why is the
Like-
internet? Why does the internet cost $120 for me to sign on to this web?
It's outrageous that it hasn't been taken over by normalcy yet.
Yeah, eventually it will be flying through the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, with people, it's just like, and you want to surround yourself with like-minded people and positivity. I mean, that's what I look for in friendships. That's what I look for in relationships. And the people that don't reciprocate how I'm treating them, like, it's just, it goes away, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And I don't want.
You're a good friend.
I would consider myself a pretty good friend. I think
I think you're one of the finer friends.
I think
you fulfill the definition of friend for many people to all the levels and wholeheartedly.
I mean, I try my best.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's busy. Everyone's a bit selfish with their lives. Everyone lives in their own little bubble, but my friends need me, and people around me need me. I think I'd be there for them.
So when you were a little boy and you were in school and you had your peanut butter and jelly in your little paper bag, and you're sitting there and like you had like the safety scissors and you weren't allowed to sharpen your pencil yet, and you were sitting at your desk, and you were too nervous to ask to go to the bathroom, so you peed your pants. And when the teacher asked you,
I don't know what he's talking about. I never peed my pants in school, I don't think.
and when the teacher asked you, Mark, what do you want to be when you're older? You looked at her and you were like, yo, first of all, I can't believe you're asking me such a colloquial question that's so trite, so commonplace. And then you went right back to, I want to be.
You're asking me what I said I want to be?
You got to fill in the blank. Isn't that obvious?
You want to be happy. You want to be happy. You want to be fulfilled. And I think life's complex. When people say, oh, I just want to be happy, it's just like, well, what does happiness mean to you? Like, how do you get to happy?
Most people don't even know what happy is, like what makes them happy.
But
so like having that goal is already off point.
But happiness as like an emotion is just, it's not like you can have happiness, you can feel pleasure. But I think
it's like a fleeting thing. It's like
it's just like you can't live your whole life. I mean, maybe you can if you're friggin' Deepak. Like, I don't know. You can live your whole life smiling and like everything's okay, but you also got to do stuff, and you're gonna get aggravated. You got to deal with people, and you got to learn how to minimize those emotional reactions. But I mean, for the most part, I think you want something to be passionate about. You want something that makes you feel alive.
So are you suggesting that people understand that my character, that is my 100% public persona, is perhaps not real? They're aware of that?
I would think so. I would
Think
hope
they
so.
know?
I would
They
hope
know?
so.
Think they know?
You have like 6 personas. I mean, you got a multitude of rooms you're living in up there.
Yeah. But I feel good.
But you
Okay,
feel
carry
good and
on.
you're enjoying your life. Whatever, man.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, like the real situation is that I love you. We've been boys for a long time.
Yeah.
The reason that I invited you on to this show here is not because we've been friends and I'm just having my friends on the show.
Sure. Which you should be.
It's because, one, I look at you like thousands of people do, that you're super successful in your field. You're exceptional at what you're doing. It's unique. You're carving your own lane and you're being yourself. And on top of that, you are an individual that is offering something positive to the world and to the people that are around you, whether
Yeah.
they're your dear friends or they're strangers that you meet at the counter at the gas station. And I just want to salute you for that and let you
Thanks,
know, yeah,
brother.
man, you could be doing what you're doing and be in the position you're in and just be a pompous, complete dink. Like, you could easily be that guy. Like, I'm selling art. Don't talk to me like that. But your character is not affected by your successes, and you are, and it's not just that you remain normal. You go beyond that and do good things throughout your day-to-day life. And I
Absolutely.
salute you for
Thank
that,
you, dude.
man.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
So
I feel the same about you.
thank you. I wasn't looking for that, but I'll take it.
It's I mean, we would have never, our friendship was based on common interests, and our friendship's always been based on, how we look at the world,
Mhm.
and like wanting to live a life filled with passion and business and friendships and life, like just, eat up life, man, for all
I
that
was
it's worth.
walking in my yard today, and as I was walking, I'm like, you know what a big part of the thing is that of why I can feel the way that I feel is that the excitement hasn't died nor even slowed since forever.
There's
Like,
always new
still
excitement.
now, every day, and you're in the same kind of world. It's like, oh, by golly, that's a thing. That's in. These things are coming at you, and it's exciting for like the anticipation of like what could happen. Oh, now I'm here. Now I'm with it. Like, it's very, like, life is exciting. And
Well, I think
man,
I mean, we talked about this a lot, but I think one important thing is once you break through the first time, like once you break through the ice of the first business or the first creative pursuit, and you can create an income and you can start breathing a little bit. You don't have to worry about paying the rent every month, and you've done it on your own.
yeah.
You go, oh man, this is crazy. You know that the only thing standing between you and the next project is yourself.
Yep.
It's always you versus yourself. And it's just up to you to make the decision. Like, do I want to dedicate my time to this? Do I want to start, another business, a clothing company?
How do you stay focused? Like, what inspires you? Are there individuals that, like,
I mean, I've
you
always
look
looked
for
up to, I've always,
inspiration?
people I always ask that question, like, oh, who did you look up to? I mean, I looked up to a variety of people, and honestly, like, I never really looked up to like a specific person or an individual, but it was, I looked up to my dad. I looked up to my mom. I
Yeah.
looked up to the qualities of people that I
Yeah.
wanted to be like. I mean, growing up, it was like, you idolize Jay-Z. I mean, you
Yeah,
look
it
at
was
people
pretty
like
much
that.
it.
Like,
It was Jay-Z.
but now I look to people like,
Nas, Mobb Deep,
I look
yeah.
at the people that we grew up with, even in like the hip hop industry, and it's like, now I'm listening to Master P on Drink Champs going like, damn, this dude really was such a genius at that time. I didn't even realize why and how. And,
Yep.
so I'm attracted to those people, the Gary V's of the world, the people that try to push you to break through your own,
Yep.
your own barriers that you're creating for yourself. And, but like, what inspires me is just beating my future self, like just becoming and evolving and, creating a new challenge. Like I'm saying, like, I'm not joking about making the movie. It's just like, I don't
No.
know what the movie is that I want to make yet, but I know at some point, like, I'm going to make some type of visual art, whatever that is, like whether
Yeah.
it's a mini movie or, I just don't, you can be all the things. You can be a painter, you can be a writer, you can be a musician all at once. Like you can be all those things.
So many people need security and structure, and like that's where their like ability to breathe lies. And then there's this whole other side of the world, this whole other niche of people that actually suffer in those situations of security and consistency and the same thing going on. And people like yourself that thrive with the beauty of the unknown, the like unexpected is coming.
Yeah. I mean, if you're okay, this is the thing. If you've had nothing and you've had to like sleep on the floor of your studio for a year, and you've had to like literally borrow $100 to eat for the month, or like, and those are things that like I'm not even ashamed of that I had to do, because I knew that like the worst thing ever would be like I had to sleep on my parents' couch. Grateful enough that I had a place to do that. You know what I mean?
Had a place to go.
But in life, when you know like the worst thing that could ever happen is like you have to sleep under a park bench. Like, you know what I mean? Like what is the worst that could ever happen when you talk about losing everything? And this is different. Like when you have a family, when you have people to support, it's not as easy to do that. We were lucky enough like to take those pursuits when we had nothing, when we had no families, when we had no one else to support. And but I'm never afraid to go back to that. You know what I mean? I'm never. What's the worst thing? I had no money. I had no money.
That's
for,
the thing.
For
like,
forever.
The worst thing is the money's gone, and then you do it again.
It's like, oh, I can't go out to eat anymore, which would really suck. But you know, it's like I can't buy a good tequila.
What can't buy? Yeah,
I'm not
like,
trying to go back there.
$19 tequila drinks. Yeah,
and that fear is a real thing. Like fear of success and fear of keeping success is a real thing too.
So you feel like you've attained some success? You comfortable like? If it ended now, like right now, today, lights out, Markus is gone, you're going to, in order to survive, you got to learn to live with regrets on your deathbed. Are you going to be overcome with regret, or are you going to be feeling like, yo, I'm proud of the individual I am?
I honestly, and that's one of the things that happened over this whole quarantine and COVID. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, I'm good. Like I did.
You are good.
I'm like, I'd be okay. Like if someone told me like next week I gotta go, I'm going to the other side. I know that I tried my best. You know what I mean? I didn't have a situation where I was like, for years I was trying to get out of something. Like if I was in something I didn't like, I got out. Or if I was struggling, like I pushed through. And I think that, you know, that mentality is built in those tough moments, those crazy times like that. You're like, I'm gonna just push through this. I'm gonna make whatever I can out of this situation, and I'm gonna go with my gut. And I don't
like you have earned ultimately every dollar for decades now. Had to make money to eat, to survive, to pay bills, to have internet, to do all the things.
But I also know like the time when I was, you know, times when I was living in San Diego where I go wait in line with like the labor ready guys, like punching a punching bag, waiting to get picked up by like a pickup truck to go.
Yeah, like I can shovel all day. I'm right here. Pick me up.
To go push bricks over a hill for 10 hours.
Yep.
And I don't ever want to go back there. I don't. And that's what like keeps me going is like, I don't ever want to go back to that. But when I see those guys, man, I have so much respect for what they do, and like, you know what a hard day's work is, and now I actually don't even want to work that hard.
I know what I know what a hard day's work is. You know? I owned a masonry company for some years there, man. My fingers done been worked to the bone.
Me too. I worked with you.
It's not right. Look at those days, man.
But you know what we always used to say, right? If you build a wall with someone, you end up knowing them better than you could ever know a person.
And
you
every
got 10
stone
hours
is a
building
decision.
But I think that's something that I think everyone should go through, you know, doing those days, putting those days works in.
Does age affect art? Like
I think you should only be becoming better with age, with everything. I think like life should be.
Is there hip pockets, like, you know, when you're talking about music, and there's like the whole, well, if you're not young and hip, you're in a whole different category. Now is it like that in the world of art?
I don't think
pop,
so.
Trendy youth art. No.
I think a lot of people in art like look up to their elders in a way, and I think once you create like a client base and you create a following, I think that can only get bigger. I mean, some of the most successful artists I know just keep getting more and more popular the older they get, and I'm hoping the same goes for me.
You have no feeling of like, oh golly, I'm getting old. I gotta get this done.
I mean, if people stopped calling, maybe if I was out of touch, with what is happening, sure,
I
I would
find
feel
that could be the defining difference, is being out of touch. Like that, I think, is most often the problem with getting older, is you become out of touch with what's going on, and you don't suffer from that because you're like heavy in the scene. You know what is real.
I mean, it just depends on, like, if you're talking about like a painter or an artist, it's like you can't get mad at the world that you're not selling paintings because you keep painting like the same tree. You know what I mean? Like
Here's
you
the tree.
keep
Here's
painting
the sand dune
you
down
keep
by
painting
Joppa
the same,
Flats.
Yeah, you keep painting the same mediocre seascape.
Scrape it up. Yeah.
And get mad that you like art isn't selling. You also have to like move with the times and read the customer, find a client base, and figure out your own style. And I think a lot of people get into art mimicking, like I did. I mimicked a lot of people. Like Shepard Fairey was a huge inspiration for me. Jackson Pollock, Warhol. Like there's a ton of people that inspired me to make art. And you could see it in my earlier work. You can still see it now, like the people that influenced me. So like, and I have people now, and send me messages on Instagram, and I see a lot of other people that are following me, having like the marks of my work in theirs, and I would never get like offended by that. I love it because it's gonna, as long as you're true to yourself, legacy. You're eventually gonna evolve into something that's you.
Yeah, you're the most beautiful you can ever be when you're being you, Marcus.
I hope so.
And if people want to pick up and apply your characteristics, that is nothing but a form of flattery.
I'll take it, and I'm always like, I'm always here. If anyone's listening,
I'm always here.
If anyone that listening that cares, like when people ask for help or they ask for like suggestions, I have people. I had a kid from Lawrence a few days ago.
A kid,
Lewis, this great kid, man. He owns a little clothing company, and he called me to ask me about. I actually met him through Kyle Flanagan.
Kyle Flanagan.
Kyle used to be a wrestling coach in Lawrence.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he pushed this kid my way. And he called me and he's like, Marcus, he's like, I got this couple that want a commission, and they want it to represent family, but they don't want it to do it with words, and they don't want to do it with like certain images. So he called me to like ask my advice on how, for him, he's a painter of his own style, how he can represent these things. Wow. And we went through like a quick 10-minute exercise. I'm like, this is what I do. This is how I process a client, interview. And I was like, you need to get more information. We talked for 10 minutes. He went back. He talked to him, asked him all the questions that I helped him curate, and then like figured out how he was going to make the piece. Wow. And I was like, for me, like, that's so exciting. Someone's calling me. Like, I'm like, do I know how to do that? And I'm like, I think I have a skill. Maybe I do have a skill, and it's like that kind of, what's that word? Reifies. What's the reify? I don't know the word I'm looking for, but confirms the fact that you actually know what you're doing a little bit. That was cool. That was exciting.
I
got to help someone out, and it felt good. And I love that. I love helping people.
Another question for you. What do you think about the Spicket River beer?
Honestly,
yeah, man.
Shameless plug. I think it's great. I think it's great, and I think it's great for Lawrence. And I'm really happy that brewery's popped up over there. It's great.
So good. I love it.
It's really, really good beer. Like,
it's good beer.
You'd really just be like, wow, like all the beers are good. It's super tasty, and it's really local.
What's the one you're sipping on right now?
What do I got going on here? I got I can't remember. Hops?
Hustlin' Hops?
That H, man. Hustlin' Hops.
Hustlin' Hops. I got the Bodega Juice.
Double IPA. This is great. This is a great one.
Yeah, much love to Spicket River Brewery. Why?
Couple burrs.
Yeah, I just got like a couple of things I want to really tell you about your life and what you should be doing with it.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for telling me. I need someone to tell me what to do.
So, aside from working with Boston Magazine, the Museum of Fine Arts, Coca-Cola, Boston Globe, CBS Morning, Raw Boston, Deep Eddy Vodka, is there actually anyone that you like want to work with?
That I like want to collaborate with?
Yeah. The question's not me telling you. I'm telling you the things you've done. And now I'm asking you, is there like somebody you're like, damn, I'm trying to work with this person? Let's put it out there right now. Who is it?
That's a great
Let's
question.
petition it. Who is it?
Let me just digest that and marinate on that for a second.
Yeah.
Like a brand or a person.
Like it's like a partnership, not like saying you guys got to be like making the painting together. Like I'm just saying, like who you want to work with
as a person?
With your career.
You know what? This is a funny question because I don't really think about it as like a person. So I'm just gonna give you my own spin on this.
Yeah, spin me up, kid.
I love.
Why?
What I really love doing is curating spaces. Like I love to incorporate other people's art in spaces, and I like. So I guess in a sense, it's like working more with interiors and placing art and curating art than it is like with a specific person. But
yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly, dude, I would love to,
like
houses.
I mean
a place. One of my dreams is like, dude, just ICA, Institute of Contemporary Art in Boston.
Yeah,
that's something I would love to show my work at. And another place is Mass Mocha.
I got you.
So those are like museums. Like I would love to show my work in those type of places. But besides that, like
is a part of that is like getting some validation from that side of the industry would feel nice.
You know what? There's two different worlds we live in. There is this fine art world.
It really is
where
a completely different world. Yeah.
People get stipends and they get to create installations in museums, and a lot of people have never even heard of the artist, and I don't know how they get it. I don't think a lot of
how are they doing that?
I don't think a lot of it's popularity.
Fill it in.
Me and Bablo, shout out to Bablo.
Love
Steve's
Andrew
magazine.
Bablo, Steve's magazine.
We always
Damn,
talk
we
about
love
this.
you.
We're always like, how the heck did that guy get that giant room?
Dude, come on. How did he do that?
Give us a room. You know, give us a room. Give me the chance. Like ICA,
Let's
MFA,
let's go. Markus Sebastiano is interested. Come on.
I will take care of business. Just give me the space.
Let's play a little game.
Yep.
Here's the name. Fast.
Furious.
Fun. Dumb.
Yeah.
Favorite color. You have no time to answer the question. Just the smallest amount. No thinking.
I have to say
the dumb part of it's fast. It's fun. Yeah. And it's dumb because there's no thinking. It's just like, just say the thing. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Here we go now. It's moving quick. Things are hitting you in the face. Favorite color.
Green.
Current favorite musical artist.
Ballroom Thieves.
Single, girlfriend, or married?
Single.
Favorite TV show?
Seinfeld.
Favorite rapper?
Jadakiss.
Favorite non-rapper?
What's that guy's name? Logic.
He's a rapper. I thought
But he's not a rapper.
Favorite genre performing artist outside of the genre of rap or hip hop?
Folk. What's a genre?
Yeah. Favorite food?
French fries.
What type of weird thing do you do that you're not ready to tell everyone except for us right now?
Drink way too much coffee.
How many cups, man?
Today, probably 4.
Wow, Mike, I'm not good at snapping. 4 cups is a lot. If I hit the second cup, I usually stop halfway because like things they're not right.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit wiry. But
yeah. I've noticed you've been shaking a lot over there.
I'm shaking. I'm like
gonna
moving.
say like, yeah, all right.
I had too much coffee.
Once in a while, I'll do like this, and it's like
shaking my back. Well, I did like a crazy circuit workout this morning. My back's kind of. So I'm
you sweating? We sweating?
Triple sweat. Yeah.
Triple sweat.
Triple sweat.
Triple sweat. What sports are you into besides professional wrestling?
Sports like in like how do you exercise or like in
No, Mark.
I like to box. I like to do boxing. You know, hit pads, hit the. You know,
is that what you were doing in high school?
In high school, soccer, tennis.
Yeah.
Not like the main sports. Baseball. I grew up playing baseball, soccer. They're kind of the average things. A little bit of football.
So when kids look at you and they're like, "I want to be an artist," they look at you and they just like, "I want to do that," right?
Yeah.
And they ask you, Markus, I'm really want to pursue a career as an artist. I'm inspired by you. What kind of advice can you give me, man? I just like, even if it's just a couple of sentences.
I mean,
what can you tell me?
Well, first thing I would ask them is, why do they really want to be an artist? Like, why do they what about being an artist is what drew them to that? Like, it's because they emulate someone else, like see someone that they want to be like, or is like
They just
they're
want to sleep all
or
day
they
and
want
not
to
really
live a
do
lifestyle
anything.
of being an artist, because it is like this romanticized, attractive type of thing where people are like, well, I don't want to be a plumber, I want to be an
Yeah,
artist.
it's more
'cause-
appealing than working at the auto parts store in Salem, New Hampshire all day long, you know?
Yeah, I mean, with anything, I would just tell them to like explore their own thoughts,
Yeah, I said that.
and kind of dive deep into who they are and figure out like what voice is telling them that, and like if that's a real true path that they want to take. Or
Okay,
is
and
it
if you determine
something is
from
external.
the response that this person wants to do art because they love it, they want to do it for all the right reasons. You like when I say do art. If they
Yeah.
want to do art for all the right
wanna make
reasons,
art.
what kind of instruction
I would
you
just
give
say
them
that
from
I
that?
would tell them to treat it as serious as they would treat any other job or any other thing.
Yeah.
Like go with your flow, figure out your style, but also make it a business. Like
Yeah.
figure out how to position yourself, figure out how to create several different streams of income, whether it's prints, whether it's reproductions, and then tell them they got to put their work out there. Like the biggest thing with artists is they don't show their work enough. So
Yeah.
you got to travel, you got to do pop-ups, you got to show up, you got to load up your van, you got to get a van.
Because you got like some kind of catching a break from what I didn't know until the last time I talked to you when you did some live art at one of my shows, right?
The biggest one was we did the Salem Food and Wine Festival that you hooked me up with, and that was like a food show. There was no art there.
So
There was no art there. You just like,
was
you want to
not.
set up a booth, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'll put myself out there. And yeah, you got to be willing to put yourself out there a lot, and know that the biggest opportunities are going to be coming from the things you would have never thought something would come from. And it's like, even like leaving,
so many things are just circumstances and chances.
you got to be willing to reinvest in yourself. Like I've done some things, man. Like I finally landed a pretty big gig, and I think that was the Lululemon one a few years ago. And like, yeah, it gave you some money, gave you a little padding, right? Then it's like,
help the resume.
you gotta invest, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do the LA Art Show, which is like, second to Art Basel, at the convention center in LA, like big deal. You're next to Picasso, you're next to like Real Deal, the biggest artist in the world, international show. But like, dude, that cost me $12,000 to do that show. Like $12,000, like I'm used to having like $120.
Yeah.
And it was a big risk, and technically I didn't get a lot out of that.
I could buy an old truck with $12,000. What's going on?
But you got to take those chances, and you got to be willing to take those hits too, and put yourself out there and travel and meet people. And I found that, and this is all like years of reading business books and like even like I saw upstairs like Think and Grow Rich, like these type of books,
man,
that are all like,
it takes a lot of work to make it look like you ain't really doing much. I tell you that.
But honestly, like, create a good network with anyone. Like have good friends, get out there in the world, create a network, have a product, know what you do. Being able to tell people within like a minute of like, hey, what do you do? Like, don't ever shy away from telling people what you do.
Oh, man.
Like, that's one of the biggest secrets is like, if someone says like, hey, what do you do? You're just like, oh, I'm an artist. No, you tell them something specific.
Know your response before you get into that
you tell them like,
conversation.
no, I'm a contemporary mixed media artist. I mainly work with commercial, hotels, restaurants. You give them your little spiel on what you do, and then like, yeah, my brother owns a hotel, and you're like, you met a guy on an elevator, and now he's taking your card, and he's telling his brother about you. It's like, those are the things that push you through. But that's an entrepreneurial,
you gotta have
mindset.
that frame of mind.
That's a
man.
mindset. That's
selling.
That's not an artist.
That's
not an artist. That's not a typical artist. And I think that's why a lot of artists find themselves in those positions of like, I can't sell any paintings. Like, well, it's not really about that.
Relationships are selling the paintings in so many ways, right?
It's positioning, relationships, networking, and just being a human being, like living your life. Like,
so would a part of the advice to these youngins looking up to you be, you got to understand that it's not all about the art. It's like you're breaking down your days. If there's 5 days in a week, you're painting for 2.5 days. Painting. you're creating for 2.5 days, and 2.5 days are split up between one day is customer relations, one day is building the public presence of the brand and handling like websites and social media. Like is one day ends up being invoicing, one day is like getting that. So it's not just the art part of it.
No, but at the beginning, it is going to be a lot of art. It's just I've had some older people in the art world say to me, like, you got to figure out your place. Like, everyone's different, and say, like, the best thing you could do is just keep creating. So, like, there'll be points in my life where I'm just creating, and then I got to step off of that gas, and I got to move over here and be like, all right, I got to get a job. Like, I got to get like something to pay the bills, like some type of corporate gig or whatever. To try to float me to make more art. I mean, the goal really is to make money to make more art. That's really the key. That's where you want to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's not make some more money and do absolutely nothing.
I'm not trying to, like, that's the thing. It just depends on the person, man, because, like, I don't personally want to have, like, some huge house. I don't want a Ferrari. I don't want, like, the things that, like, people were like,
see me in my Ferrari.
It's like, if you're a materialistic person, yeah, go get those things. But, like, if you want to live kind of a more normal, regular life and, like, value your time, your freedom, be able to travel, have a couple nice things, have a nice place to sleep, but you want to really just reinvest that stuff into yourself.
Put in the work, continue to drive, stay motivated, keep your head down, hustle, sacrifice sleep. These kinds of things should be in the mind of anybody.
But what we used to do is we always used to say, like, and we used to not sleep, but now, like, I value sleep so much. It's like my brain works.
It does actually help.
It was always like, but it was always like sleep when you die, and it's like, yeah, there were times, dude, for like months where you didn't get a lot of sleep because you were hustling.
Hustlers don't sleep. We rest one eye
up. Sleep
up.
is important, man. Sleep, eating healthy, like all the stuff you're talking about, exercising, taking care of yourself first, because when you feel like shit, everything goes to shit.
The real transitions are definitely assisted by having a healthy diet, a healthy way of living,
which creates a healthy
getting
mind.
sleep.
It's just like that really influences the way you make decisions, the way your mood is, the way you're treating
easier to
people.
do good when you feel good.
Yeah. Feel good.
You got a good way about you.
Enjoy your life.
Yeah.
You got to do those things to enjoy your life.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Well, I gotta say just a few more things here. One, oh by golly, so much love to our sponsors. Enjoy Your Life brand, Spicket River Brewery, Higher Education Music and Arts Festival. I love you guys. You make this possible. Marcus, so if people are trying to get connected with you on the social media jams, the interwebs. I know you don't have it because you can't come to an agreement with Comcast, but like other people that have the internet want to go out there and check you out, what do we do? How do we stay here?
MarkusSebastiano.com. MarkusSebastiano. Same thing, Markus_Sebastiano at Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's at Markus Sebastiano.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much
those
all
are the
I
main
use
lanes.
is Instagram and the website and Google.
We didn't talk about your name, and we're not going to.
We don't. Yeah. It's my name, I guess. They're both my names.
Mystique.
We'll leave it at that. We'll save it for next time.
Yeah.
There's a good story behind that too.
Yo, honestly, man, this is, again, it's the first episode of offering something with a guest to be released to the world. It's been a pleasure having you here,
This has
Marcus.
been great, man. This is great.
I really do.
We
like
fell into a good flow. We were like,
Yeah.
it takes a second.
Yeah, and anyway, I don't even care. Like, that's not the concept of the whole thing. The whole thing is like, I'm hanging out in my studio with good people, and I love our viewers, and I want to see a casual side. Like I said before, we'll talk about your career, but a casual side of the individual, the character that you are, because I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody, but when I went out there and I looked at your other interviews that exist, I didn't get to know much about the human being that is you.
Yeah, it's
Mark.
great. I like being normal. I like just talking like regular people.
Yeah, here it is. I love you so much. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Michael.
Honestly, get hip with him on that IG jam, Markus_Sebastiano. Enjoy your life. This right here is offering something. My name is Michael Bernier. I'd love you to click that subscribe button. But if that's not what you want to do with your time, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Mark.
Michael.
Us.
Oop, shit.
Cheers. Yeah, that's the way to go out, Joe. Oh, man. I don't think I want to leave yet. I don't want to go. Hold on. You want to go?
Whatever you want to do. I could talk all night.
Oh, man. Just, that's it. Hold up your peace sign for us. Oh, no, the camera's on me. Yeah. This is how a real show comes to a close. Peace, my friends.
Later. Awesome. You gotta